Hey everybody, it's Doug here, Doug Mystic Eye on Board Game Geek, welcoming you back to our second episode of our third series of our Myth playthrough. I did one as a test run, then I did a full playthrough series. Now I'm doing another one using one of the story quests from the Kickstarter exclusive. This one is called Something in the Darkness, Heart of Darkness, and we're on the first act of Heart of Darkness right now, where our heroes basically just got going. Again, as I mention every time when I'm playing Myth now, I have an upfront contract with you guys that I am going to make mistakes and I'm not going to be focusing on them, even though I'll try and make corrections as I see them. Just due to the very nature of the game, especially being alone, filming and playing 4 characters, the odds of me making a mistake are pretty darn good. So we're going to continue on. Plus, I have like 4 different versions of the rules. I know I have the latest ones, but it's hard to keep track of in my head which rule is from the latest version, which rule isn't. Anyway, if you play it in a sense that you just want to enjoy it and experience the game, it works really well. If you focus on the rules, it starts to bog down, you start to get a headache. So I'm not going to do that. The rules are very straightforward on the surface, but it's the nuances of the rules that start to get into play here. So anyway, let's continue. We are going to start with our new hero phase, and I believe in this phase we will start with our soldier, who is doing quite a bit, and we're focused on that character right now. Soldier has quite a few cards available, a lot of rage built up, a lot of things that she can do. She's standing right in front of some guys here. But if we do anything that costs more than 2, we're going to end up triggering a darkness phase. So we probably will end up triggering one this turn. I think it's inevitable. But we do have a bunch of attacks we can do. And again, if I play this card, every card builds rage. And I still may not do that because I think the cards that I have aren't going to be helpful for that purpose. But again, we're gonna if she kills the 2 that are in front of her, we will trigger the darkness before any other player gets to take their turn. So I'm going to just quickly, off camera, look at the other guys' cards and see if there's anything that we can do prior to the darkness triggering. So I'm making a change to that. Our brigand's going to go first. Using, here we go, Shadow Reach. It says optional shadows appear next to a target within 3 squares. 1 attack on 1 target, not considered a move. So we're going to play that. That is going to be as a reaction, not an action. And we're going to do that first, and it will actually increase the darkness track by 1, but still will not trigger a darkness cycle. So let's go to the board and do that. So with that, if he doesn't move, it's -1, -2 to the target number, but he's 1, let's see, 2, 3 away from here. So poof, going to appear right there and make an attack. Now for dice, her dice, she's going to get 1 D10 for her base stat, 1 D10 for her dagger. Her dagger gives her 1 D10 as well as a fate die. She gets 1 fate die for her base stats, so she got right now 2 D10, 2 fate die. That's using the dagger, and then in addition to that, she's going to get, because she comboed with darkness, she's going to get 2 more fate die in there. And that will be it. So 2 D10 and 2 fate die for this roll. I think we can nail this guy and get him killed. Of course, she'll come out of shadows, but she has her other ability as well, and we'll pop right back in. Okay, here's our dice. Let's see if we get some good luck rolls here. Now remember, we are attacking a Shambler. Normally has a T and a 4, but since this didn't count as a move, it's -2 TN, so it needs a whopping 2 on its 1-sided die to attack, and succeeded. And let me see, I don't think we got any of his his abilities, so his dagger is no. Well, we did, yeah, 1 here for the dagger. It says it stays in shadows, so our thief stayed in shadows at that point and killed this one. Poof, it's gone. And that does put the brigand's threat up to 1, and that's okay. But we've killed another of the bad guys, and we're increasing the darkness track up 1 more. So we're 1 away from triggering the event. I think we're going to have to basically kill that guy, and then it'll trigger a card, and that means we're going to have another spawn from that that layer there, which is going to be pretty rough on us, but I think we can manage. Our brigand did not fall out of shadows. She's just going to end there, and then we're going to move on to our soldier. I think we're just going to play this hidden blade attack. 1 attack of 1 target. You can make a cautious move, which is all she needs to do to get up and kill that one. So we're going to play that. It will trigger the darkness. So as soon as we play that action and take it, the next thing that will happen is we'll have a darkness event. So what happens is she moves up and does her hidden blade attack, which lowers the TN by 2. Once again, let's pull some dice together for our hero. We're going to have 1 base D10 and 1 fate die for the basic stat of the character. Then the thing that she has, the long sword, is actually better than the other weapons. It's 2 D10 plus another fate die. So we're going to get another 2 D10 plus a fate die. And that's really all that we get. The card that we played just lowers the TN by 2, so instead of a 4 we need a 2. I think pretty much going to kill that guy. Absolutely killed it. So boom, it is dead. And at that point we trigger a darkness cycle, and we're going to have to draw a darkness card. So let's do that. Now for those unfamiliar with the game, you're probably going, but Doug, the other players didn't get to go yet. No, that's right. When a character, when the darkness track reaches 6, which it just now did, it stops the action. Now that doesn't mean the other 2 aren't going to get their turn, but there's a break in the action. We're going to run a darkness cycle, and then the other 2 characters will get their turn. Not only that, the soldier could keep also taking actions at that point. So, but the first thing we do is we draw one of these cards. This is the darkness. It says, oh my, we got a, ooh, this is going to be rough, guys. Rough, rough, rough. It says, bones, event. For this activation, only treat the threat penalty event as an 8. Well, we're not worried about that. Nobody has a threat penalty of 8. Our threat is, I think the highest is 3 right now. It says, all undead resurrect on nature and darkness for the rest of the act. Okay, but we don't have to worry about that. Then we're going to have an activation, and then we're going to have a spawn. So the first thing we do is our activations. Now the only thing we have on the board right now are the minions, so they're the only things that are going to go. And the minions have a movement of 2, which is this symbol right here. This is their courage. That's their hits, if we haven't described a card before. That is their target number when they hit. They get to roll 1d10 and 1 fate die. If they roll a fate die, they get that, assuming we have another character in the game. But for right now, they are going to move. So let's see what they're going to. Their attacks are first by proximity. So the closest to them right now is the soldier. So this one's going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. Good thing is there's a choke point right here with these red marks, because those 2 pillars are blocking the way. 1, 2, 1, 2, and now these archers, 1, 2, they might go there because they might be able to shoot. Their range is 2, so this one will actually, see, 1, 2 will not be able to shoot there, just out of range. 1, 2, and 1, 2. Now we've done the activation. That's all they get to do. You know, I didn't check to see if they were a threat. They may not have done anything actually. They probably were in threat of, well, he's only 3, and they got a threat range of 2. Huh. So let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I'm going to put them back because I don't think they would have done anything. They were not within threat range. The soldier has a threat of 1, so let's start there. We'll stay. Can't remember exactly how I had these guys, but this is close enough. Let's say the soldier's threat is 1, so it's 1, 2, 3. That's not enough. Threat of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look, just outside of threat range. So we are lucky in that there was no activation this turn, but we do have a deadly spawn. 2 captains. Wait till you see what that looks like. So, a new power has entered the board. It is the Solus. the captains of the Undead. You can see that they have 3 hits. They have a target number of 5 for us to hit them. They move 3, courage of 2. They get basically a hex. It says 2 attacks on 1 target, range of 4, 1 damage per hit. They do 1d10. They get to roll 2 fate dice, and they need a target of number of 5 or better to hit us. Also, they might curse us with a roll on their fate die. They also have the buff of resurrection. Shamblers can now resurrect. And what does that mean? That when we kill them, we're going to have to roll the fate die for the Shamblers too, because on that roll they are going to resurrect. So that is their power. And basically they don't activate yet, because that ended the darkness phase. They just came summoned in to the spawn point at the end of the turn. And there was called a deadly spawn, which summoned 2 captains instead of the normal critters. So that is what we have for that darkness phase, and that ends the darkness phase. Luckily, it didn't result in us getting heavily attacked, which is going to allow us to react and do some things. We might continue on with the soldier. I need to see, look again at his abilities, or her abilities rather, and see what she can do. So because we had a darkness phase, I didn't realize this is a interrupt card. I could have played this during the darkness phase, and I think I would have on our hero, because she's probably going to be able to move up enough to hit a captain. So we're going to play that on the soldier. Now remember, the first one was reaction, so we still haven't taken our action. And so we play that, so that makes every card count as a rage card. Then we're going to play this one. Ooh, wait, it will be our action, won't it? The hustle. Won't be able to attack. Kind of voids out the purpose. Voids out the purpose. But we can get up and into the fray at least. You know, that means let's hold on to this one. We won't need to do that because we're not going to be able to attack. We're going to use this as this is going to be our action right here, and let me show you what happens then. And how do I know it's an action? Because the arrow down here that shows you if it's an action, on the bottom is a reaction, and if it has that burst around it, it means it's an interrupt, which means you can play it only during the darkness cycle. So I didn't realize that rage one was only for the darkness cycle, but we'll have another one, so we'll get to use it. However, she is going to play her sprint, which allows her to move 3. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. She's going to go 1, 2 to right there, and as for her third point of that action, she's going to pick up the treasure. So what is that going to be? Okay, so I have our treasure conveniently divided up in this box right here from all the game sessions, and I've been dumping in the ones that are appropriate. But I need to reach in without looking, which I'm just kind of not looking at the box when I pull it out, and I get one of these ones, which I believe is a better one. It's a silver one, I think. A white one, I guess. White, yeah, it'll be a white treasure. So, well, let me look at the actual cards. I can't remember which is which. The shields are green, yeah. So see, they should have colored these different, but this is actually a green one, so this is better. It comes out. So what I do with those when they come out is I put them in there with the ones that need to go, the other special ones that go back in. That means we drew a silver treasure, or green treasure rather, which is awesome. So I'm going to get those out, and we'll see what we get. Okay, let's hope for something good here. I shuffled these up. Robes. Well, we're going to put those in her inventory right now. She already has. I guess that is better. No, it's not better than her. Yeah, she already has adventuring gear that helps. We're going to just put that in inventory, but it is a nice item for the end of the game, and that's going to end the actions for our soldier. Now, that hustle card did bump up the darkness track by 1, so we are back around 2-1. Okay, well, I think our Acolyte is going to try and drop a consuming fire. It's got a range of 3 for 1 damage on one of the captains. Start doing damage to them, but it also does damage over time. So even though we only have 1 faith generated, and we don't really have any cards that can generate more faith right now. I have this one, but I can't play it, and I'd like to hold on to it because it does 1 damage over time per faith. So we'll get at least 2 points on a captain. This will increase the darkness track by 1. So let's play that, and then he's going to also have to move, which I'll show you how that's going to go. So our Acolyte is here, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3 next to our soldier and make this attack. Now he could have moved. He can do that. You see that yes right there. That's a wait. No, he's got to back up 1. I hope he still has range. Let me check that out. he will have range. 1, 2, 3 bases right there. So even here he's going to have range on that one to make his attack using that. And remember that our darkness track is going to go up one more again. Boom. And we are going to have to hit. So we're going to have a, so far let's get our dice pool together for this one. We're going to have a D10 plus a fate die. We're going to use his book, which allows him another D10, so 2 D10 so far, and the consuming fire doesn't do anything. It would have added, another fate die, but because he made a full movement, it won't. So it's going to be 2 D10 and a fate die on this attack, and we need to get a target number of 5 on the soulless. Now what that's going to do is add a damage, and then next turn it'll also do 1 more damage, but let's go to the dice bowl and roll to see if we succeed in hitting the soulless. Oh, barely. Wow, a 5. And unfortunately we did not get a candle, so we don't get any effect there. But we do 1 point of damage, demonstrated by placing a damage marker right here. And then also I have to remember that next turn he is also, in the refresh phase I believe, we are going to do 1 more point of damage on the refresh phase as well before that ends. So that captain who has 3 hits will have 2 hits on it. That's not a bad thing. That also increases the acolyte's threat up by 1, putting him at 4, but he's going to have some reductions this turn. So let's go back to his board and make that adjustment. By the way, I did it off camera, but I also had adjusted the soldier's one for his attack. And then last but not least, we have our initiate. And our initiate's pretty far back there, so we got to get her to move. She doesn't really have any special movement cards. And she wants to keep a hold of some things. Anyway, I think that what we'll do is we're going to play this card as a reaction. Basically, it absorbs the first point of damage done to the apprentice per hero cycle. So we're going to play that. That is going to increase the darkness by 1, and then she is going to take a normal move, which she can do here. It doesn't have any effect. 2 spaces. In fact, she can't. The only thing she can't do is make a what we call an aggressive move, which would be double. But she will get a couple points of movement up ahead. So here she is. She's going to go 1, 2, and that's it. Not very far, not very exciting, but it is what it is. And yeah, let's continue on. That is basically, that's all she's going to do. She doesn't want to play any more cards. So that's going to end our hero cycle. Now we're going to go on to the next part of our phase. So moving on to the hero deck phase, might as well start here with our apprentice. And we're going to basically, she's keeping all these cards, so she's going to reduce her threat by 1. I am missing stuff for her. I guess nothing has happened to her, so it hasn't been, I didn't notice it. But she doesn't have any threat, so that's, of course that's not a threat token, that's a treasure token. Let's see, we need to get a heart and a threat. Okay, I got it now. So this will be here, and her vitality is going to be, you look up here, it's 5 plus 1 for her adventurer's gear, so 6. But basically, that would have reduced her threat by 1, but she didn't have any, and she's keeping these cards in play. Next, we're going to go to our acolyte. Now this is a big deal, because you see that there are 3 card slots open, which is going to reduce his threat by 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to discard this card. Followed up by our brigand. We're going to go 1, 2. We're going to lose the threat there, so no more threat there, and we're going to discard this card. And then lastly, our soldier has 2 open slots. Okay, yeah, our soldier has 2 open slots, so 1, 2, so we're going to reduce the threat there. And then both of these are going to be discarded. Next up, we draw some cards. So first off, we have to get down to 1 card. And I believe that we're going to need attacks. I'm not going to keep... Well, we're only 3 points away from a darkness cycle. We're likely to trigger one. I believe I'm going to keep this. And we'll let these 2 go. So she's going to keep that. We're going to discard these 2. We're going to draw 4 more cards. So here's the 4 cards for a total of 5 in her hand. Harvest of Bones, that is one of the best attacks, and we're probably going to pull that off next turn. A normal attack, Battle Roar, and Riding the Edge is another great one that we can blast through those guys. Pretty good stuff. I like that. That is a good draw for the soldier. Now let's go to the brigand. Brigand has the one with darkness. I really like the dagger. It can help to keep him in shadows. And I think that with that, we only get to, unfortunately, we get these great cards. We're only going to get to keep one of them. So I believe that the one we're going to keep is Shadow Touch, because it does 3 damage. We could kill a captain or do damage to the lair. So we're going to keep that one. We're unfortunately going to discard these 3. And then we'll get an additional 4 cards. We're leaving the one with darkness there. So we got 4 more cards to look at. Oh, another one with darkness. Dirty Tactics, nowhere to end. That's our, and Dark Weaver. That is our hand currently for our brigand. Now let's move on to our apprentice. Our apprentice is saying, I don't know what I want to keep. This one's pretty good at heals. Can be done as a reaction. So I think that out of all of those, this is the one she's going to keep. These ones are going to get discarded. We're going to draw 4 more. Let's see what she gets here. Arcane Sigil removes curses. That's good. The bad guys can drop curses. Seer of Deflection. That's another ongoing. An Arcane Lance. Good damage. Oh, good. And Blood of Gaia. That's a really good one too. Lots of damage capability this turn, so that's great because that's what we needed. This was the good time for them to draw some serious damage cards. Lastly, we have our Acolyte. We've got to decide what card we're going to keep. I actually think we're going to keep a Smite. Guardian Angel's good, but depends on how quickly we get to a darkness phase. So I do think we're going to keep the Smite because we need attacks this turn. So these are going to get discarded. We're going to draw 4 more for the Acolyte. 1, 2, 3, and 4. These go back, and let's see what we get. Righteous Fury. Hero attack actions do 1 damage. That's pretty good. 1 per hero faith. 1 hero per faith, so if I can stock up faith, I can do lots of damage, maybe get rid of those captains. Last Rite, we've already seen that one. That one was good. Consuming Fire, we've done that one already. And Attend the Weak. This is a healing spell, the first healing spell that he's got in his hand. That is good. You never know when you're going to need that. But that ends our, ends our hero deck phase. So we've done everything to draw cards. Now we just got to do cleanup and refresh. So on our refresh phase, we need to go to the darkness board, where we are going to increase. Now, even though these are different creatures, the Soulless, which by the way I didn't get to show you the figure, let me show you how awesome they look. Pretty incredible, right? Nice, huh? Okay, anyway, they're still undead, so there's still only 1 type of creature on the board, so that's going to increase our darkness track by 1. Also remember that the damage over time from the Acolyte's card is going to drop 1 more point of damage on the first of the 2 captains, which is Captain Soulless, and that is going to end our full turn for this round. So anyway, we're just going to do 1 turn, I think, at a time. It's the best way to do it, since as we go along, especially once we do a heavy round of combat, the turn might go fairly long. Anyway, so now you've seen a bunch of actions. You've seen the darkness trigger with one of the new darkness cards. Now remember, in the base game, even though it came with 2 different types of monsters, there was only 1 deck of darkness cards. Now with the Wave 2, you have a set of darkness cards for every creature type that's in the game. Pretty cool. So, and we're using the Bones one for this one. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Again, I didn't see any particular mistakes. I almost moved the Acolyte one too many. But I think I did okay. And again, if I did make a minor mistake, I'm going to acknowledge it and move on, as is the nature of this game. So, thanks again for watching. I hope you're enjoying this playthrough, and I will talk to you soon.